Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Good Monday afternoon. Welcome into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow alongside Mo Patton, and glad to have you guys with us here. What's going on with you, Mo? How are things?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're just waiting to see what this weather is going to do here over the next few hours, hoping to get out and actually cover some stuff today. So we'll see how that goes.
Man, I'll tell you, it's almost like a don't hold your breath situation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's always this time of year. It's like it's never during the regular season when it rains for 2 weeks straight. No, it's right during the middle of the playoffs when you've got to get the games in. There's no other alternative.
You got to get these games played, and it's forcing some folks to be really creative. And there's probably a few less than happy moms out there because some high school postseason play infringed on Mother's Day yesterday afternoon. So guess it is what it is, as you would say.
They get free admission though if they had to come, you would think.
you hope they got something. Yeah. Some of them got wins, I guess. So that was
a hot dog or something. I don't know. Yes, Mother's Day brunch. We're gonna have it at the ballpark. You're gonna have a hot dog and you might get a Reese's cup if you're lucky.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, no doubt. But man, we've got a great show lined up. TERESA Walker is scheduled to join us at 2:20. Talk a little bit about the John Morant situation. We'll also visit with Middle Tennessee State softball coach Jeff BREEDEN. He led his number 6 seeded Lady Raiders to a Conference USA title. We'll talk about that tournament and their upcoming trip down to Tuscaloosa as they'll take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. We'll talk about that in just a moment, actually. We'll get into some softball, NCAA softball drama, I guess, a little bit of drama at least. And we'll also talk about a little baseball. Braves had a terrible weekend. A lot of other things happened in the world of baseball this weekend, though. So we'll try to get into that as well. And, of course, rapid fire reactions where we'll talk a little bit about the NFL, the NBA, Titans. We'll also get into some collegiate how in the worlds. I still haven't figured this one out. Looking forward to talking about that. Oh, man, we got a lot to get to. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and dive right in. What do you say? Sounds like a good time. Let's do it. A good time to give you the rundown.
This is the rundown.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy, prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Baseball action from Friday. Cascade was a 12-2 winner over Pearl Cohn. It was Centennial 2, Columbia Central 0. Clarksville 5-1 against Henry County, and Rossview was 11-4 winners over Dixon County. Lewis County defeated Fairview 8-2, and Forest was a 16-1 winner against East Nashville. Greenbrier was an 11-1 winners over Hillwood. Lipscomb Academy shut out MUS 15-0, and Watertown was a 3-1 winner over Monterey. It was Murfreesboro Central Magnet 4, Portland 0. Smyrna doubles up Riverdale 10-5, and Stewart's Creek edges Siegel 3-2.
In Saturday baseball action, it was Green Hill defeating Beach 6-2, Independence with a 3-1 win over Brentwood. Rossview edged Clarksville 10-8, Eagleville with a 10-0 win over Wayne County. It was Joe Burns 6, East Robertson 4. East Robertson then defeated Gordonsville 8-6. Silverdale Academy out of Chattanooga defeated Franklin Grace 3-2. Greenbrier with a 2-0 win over Murfreesboro Central. It was White House Heritage 3, Loretto 2. Eagleville downed Moore County 11-4. Mount Juliet defeated Station Camp 4-1. It was Murfreesboro Central 4, Portland 3. Moore County with a 9-2 win over Richland. Riverdale defeated Siegel 4-1. Smyrna downed Riverdale 6-5. And then Stewart's Creek defeated Smyrna 1-0.
On Mother's Day, little Sunday baseball action. Beach, a 2-1 winner over Station Camp before falling to Green Hill 8-2. Brentwood 7, Columbia Central 1. Centennial, same score over Independence. Clarksville an 11-1 win over Henry County, and White House Heritage down to Lewis County 7-4. It was Loretto 16-3 against Fairview, and then 10-0 over Lewis County. Mount Juliet was a 4-3 winner over Green Hill. Richland with a comeback defeats Wayne County 6-1, and then avenges that loss to Moore County 5-4.
Softball action over the weekend. Beach defeated Hendersonville 7-5. Gallatin defeated Hendersonville 14-8. Riverdale with a 9-4 win over Siegel, and Beach defeated Station Camp 10-5. Those were Friday games. On Saturday, Beach defeated Gallatin 3-2 and defeated Gallatin 12-7. Brentwood with an 11-1 win Saturday over Overton. Riverdale defeated Oakland 9-4, and then Oakland returned the favor down in the Lady Warriors 9-3. On Sunday, Centennial edged Brentwood 2-1. Throughout the tying run at the plate to end the game did the Lady Cougars for the District 11 4A championship. Congrats to CCCHS. In boys soccer action, it was Laverne doubling up Smyrna 4-2.
College baseball over the weekend. Florida sweeping Vanderbilt 10-0 and 7, and then a pair of 6-2 wins. Tennessee takes 2 of 3 from Kentucky, 10-6, 10-7, and then Kentucky scores 10 of its own and shuts out Tennessee 10-0 in the finale on Sunday, though it took about 37 hours to complete. Lipscomb doubled up Austin P in game 1, 18-9, and then took a 16-3 win in game 2 before the Govs avenge at least one with a 6-5 win. Valparaiso takes game 1 against Belmont 12-3, and then Belmont takes the rest of the series 13-3 and 7 and 5-1. Middle Tennessee State takes 2 of 3 from UAB 3-2 and 8-7 in 10 innings before UAB takes game 3 6-2, and Finlay ends Trevecca's season most likely with a 3-2 win in the Great Midwest Conference Tournament.
College softball tournament action from the SEC. Tennessee blanked Florida 4-0, edged Alabama 7-6, and defeated South Carolina for the Southeastern Conference Tournament Championship 3-1. In the Missouri Valley, Southern Illinois edged Belmont 4-3. From Conference USA, down at Ruston, Middle Tennessee State with a 2-1 win over Florida Atlantic, edged Charlotte 6-5, and defeated North Texas 3-2 in 12 innings for the conference tournament title. Major League Baseball over the weekend. Do we have to report these? Yeah, I guess we do. Toronto sweeps visiting Atlanta 3-0, 5-2, and 6-5, walking it off yesterday. The Reds take 2 of 3 from the Marlins, winning 7-4 and 6-5 before falling 3-1. The Cardinals go into Fenway and come out Yeah, maybe they got some things straightened out because they took 3 at Boston, 8-6, 4-3, and 9-1 in the finale. Ditto for the Brewers, sweeping Kansas City 5-1, 4-3, and 9-6. Don't tell Heather. Minor league baseball action down at First Horizon Park over the weekend. Gwinnett with back-to-back 4-3 wins over the Sounds. I actually got to see that Saturday one. Pretty good ball game. The Sounds salvage a split of the series with a 6-5 win on Sunday. And on the pitch, Nashville Soccer Club and DC United played to a 1-1 draw.
Baseball action this afternoon. Brentwood Independence at Centennial, Mo, I assume?
No, at Indy.
At Independence. Okay, that's a 5 o'clock start. Brentwood at Independence in baseball. Softball action this afternoon. Community in East Nashville at 4. Friendship Christians at Jackson Christian at 5 at 5:30. Watertown goes to Bledsoe County. And also at 5:30, the TSIAA state championship game. Is that correct?
Correct.
That is a 5:30 start at Zion Christian. Community Christian will take on the defending state champs as they try for number 2. Fairview goes to
babies.
That's right. Fairview goes to Loretto at 6. Oakland welcomes Smyrna. Summertown's at home against Cheatham County, and Page goes to Upperman. Squatchy County's at Westmoreland. Yeah, that's tough. And at 6:30, it's Richland at Eagleville. Riverdale at Stewart's Creek at 7 tonight. Beach welcomes Cookville, and Green Hills at home against Gallatin at a time unknown to us. Whites Creek is at Forest. On the pitch, again, time unknown. Smyrna is at Siegel in boys soccer action. And in Major League Baseball, the Brewers are at the Cardinals at 6:45. The Braves are in Texas and Arlington at 7:05 against the Rangers. And the Reds are at the Rockies, a 7:40 first pitch. And that's going to do it for your rundown. All right. That wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. They're
Relatively speaking. Yeah.
They're getting shorter.
Yeah, right.
Mo, yesterday or last night, Middle Tennessee State learned its fate as they will be headed to Tuscaloosa for the Tuscaloosa Regional in the NCAA softball tournament, where they will be hosted by number 5 seed Alabama. Now, almost any time ever in the last decade, that would not be a surprise to hear number 5 seeded Alabama. But boy, Twitter blew up last night because Alabama is the number 5 overall seed in the country. They were the number 5 seed in the SEC tournament.
Strength of schedule, baby.
And on top of that, Montana Fouts goes out in the tournament with an injury and is, at least questionable to even pitch in the region tournament. Now, I understand that it's based on your season. I get that. But you have a selection committee for a reason. And that is to bring in the human element. I mean, we go back to Cincinnati and Kenyon Martin.
Right.
I mean, this is not unprecedented for the NCAA to take an injury into account, especially when it's a pitcher in softball.
Especially when it's that pitcher in softball.
Yeah. I mean, I am, and it's not just me. I mean, like literally the entire softball world was flabbergasted when Alabama's name came up in the number 5 seed. I mean, I can't explain it. And here's the worst part about it. The worst part is Middle Tennessee State's got to go down there and they get Central Arkansas, who likely would have been out of the ASUN, by the way, likely would have been a national seed, but they're not allowed to host because they have a turf field.
Saw that. Very odd.
So not only do you draw Central Arkansas as your 2 seed if you're Middle Tennessee State, but you also have to play in Rhodes Stadium, which is a very, very difficult place to play because they're going to pack it out.
Now, in working in MTSU's favor, they do have experience playing at Alabama. Again, we're going to talk to Jeff BREEDEN here at the top of the hour, and he's going to tell you that, you know, it's not like this is their first roads as opposed to first rodeo. But at the same time, like you said, in a tournament situation, it's going to be a little bit different. And the NCAA certainly didn't do the Conference USA champions any favors there.
Well, I mean, and you know,
and one of the things that I'm going to ask Jeff is, I don't know that the NCAA necessarily expected MTSU from the standpoint that Charlotte got in at large. I don't did it. How many folks expected Conference USA to be a 2-bid league?
I don't think many. Well, I think North Texas had a chance, but boy, North Texas really got the short end of a stick, man. And
well, you know,
in a lot of ways.
Well, I just don't have a whole lot of sympathy for them, in much the same manner that Middle kind of caught the short end in a couple of situations when they were going from the Sun Belt to Conference USA. You know, North Texas going to the American next year, right?
Yes, I think so.
So
I think North Texas is in that.
Yeah, c'est la vie.
This is a team that beat Charlotte 3 times this year. They were 3-1 against Charlotte and beat them in the tournament. And Charlotte gets the at-large bid over North Texas, who, you know, went 12 innings in the Conference USA championship game against the team that won it. So, I mean, North Texas, I do feel bad for those girls, because I do feel like that they got, I don't say they got screwed, because I've been there, you know, and you and I've had this conversation about Huntington when they won the conference tournament, but the conference didn't have enough teams to get an at-large bid. And the team that they beat 3 times that year got the bid to the NCAA D3 tournament over Huntington, despite being 0-3 against them and not winning the conference. So, I mean,
Charlotte was the number 1 seed in the conference tournament.
Yes,
so
they were. No. And that's the thing. I mean, they won the conference. They were, from what I understood, kind of a bubble team. And I think the NCAA just said, look, clearly we have to take into consideration conference tournaments, but we also need to reward those teams who are really good all year long. And I think giving, in the softball world with the parity that we see, I think Charlotte is a great at-large team. I think it's a great pick for an at-large. Because Conference USA is pretty strong.
I really wish the Conference USA tournament bracket included teams' records coming into the tournament. It would make referring to this thing a whole lot easier, but I don't know who stands where from a record standpoint.
So are you looking for Charlotte's record?
Relative to North Texas is yeah.
Well, yeah, Charlotte 33-21, which not great. But
not great.
But I mean, and I guess that's, you know, that just goes to show that the NCAA selection committee was seriously considering a lot more than just, you know, record and wins and losses. Yeah. But then again, they certainly didn't take into consideration head to head. Of course, that's.
We've already decided that head to head doesn't matter to anybody in anything, though, right? I mean,
so 35-22, basically identical records, and North Texas was 3-1 against them. That's pretty damning. Anyway, Tennessee, the number 4 overall seed, which is a bit ridiculous after if 12 of 13 teams in your conference get into the NCAA tournament.
And you are the conference champion.
And you are the conference champions, not only both
regular season and tournament.
You're the 4 seed?
And you're the 4 seed.
You're gonna have a hard time selling me on that one, NCAA. But I did say if they weren't a top 4 seed that you just throw away the entire process. Luckily, they got them in under the wire.
They are a 4 seed behind Oklahoma, UCLA, and Florida State.
Correct. Now, Tennessee gets the number 2 team out of the Big Ten, Indiana. They also get Louisville, who's out of the ACC, and then Northern Kentucky, who is 23-30 overall, but won their conference.
There you go.
That being said,
when it matters.
That being said, the Big Ten looked very down upon by the NCAA selection committee, number 5 in conference RPI.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is why you see no Michigan.
Which is why Nebraska was a last 4 in. I mean, it's
almost blasphemous. It feels like to have a college, a NCAA softball tournament without Michigan. I mean, they are as close to a mainstay as there is. But
this is a very weird year. It's a very weird year, and of course, Tennessee matches up with Texas in the Supers. So
a sign of things to come.
Are we surprised? Not at all. Tennessee and Texas have been on a road course for one another for a while now via the NCAA. So glad they're coming to the conference so we ain't got to worry about that crap anymore.
There you go.
All right, let's take a break because Teresa Walker is standing by. Would like to get to her as quickly as possible, so stick around. We'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint in the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline. whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here in the Lee Company studio. Did not get into the actual Lee Company studios. Apparently over the weekend, there was a water leak in our ceiling and it caused a little bit of damage. So all this rain, and with all this rain, it's not really surprising that, something like that might happen. So I guess it is what it is. We'll get there when we get there, maybe after spring fling, but that's okay too if it is. Mo, it's time to go to the Real Property Solutions hotline. 615-527-8750 is the number to call for Real Property Solutions. And we go to TERESA Walker, who joins us now. TERESA, how are you?
I'd be better if, some point guard in Memphis would maybe show a little bit more of the contrition that he showed when he talked to ESPN and to Commissioner Adam Silver back in March. And at the end of their 6-game playoff loss in the first round to the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, let's put it this way. John Morant did not make my Mother's Day better yesterday. I'm dealing with a follow-up story today on what this could all mean for him. And it's like, no offense, John, but, brother, it's not so much my questions, but guess what? His timing could not be much worse. The fact of the matter is, while it's the Grizzlies are in their off-season mode and him being suspended from all team activities, I mean, let's be honest, charity events, he's got a court at his own house. If he needs to go see a trainer, I'm sure he can see a doctor that, that can, feed information to the team. But the real effect of this is what starts tomorrow night, the Western Conference Finals. What starts June 1st, the NBA Finals. Who speaks to the media traditionally at a news conference before the NBA Finals begin? The commissioner, Adam Silver. The commissioner who said that, expressed remorse. And, from my colleague's story yesterday, Adam Silver said in March, he has expressed sincere contrition and remorse for his behavior. And it was also made clear to me he has learned from this incident and understands his obligations and responsibilities to the broader NBA community. Oops. And for the people, there are a lot of people wanting to blame the people he's hanging out with. This time, unlike in March, Ja was not live streaming on his own IG account. It was a friend's account. And that friend, the instant Ja flashed what appeared to be a gun, turned the camera away. And there was about 111 viewers who may have seen it in the moment. But, the last time I checked, guys, just before midday, who was still the number 2 trending topic nationally? Take a guess. Ja Morant. And as I look now, he's gone down. So this afternoon, people have moved on a little bit. But, by noon, he was the number 2 trending topic behind, Martha Stewart has passed him by, and I don't know what Yingling has done, or the Dogs or Bo Jackson, but, to still be the number 2 trending topic 24 hours later, not good, especially after, he said all the right things and then this happened. And his sister was graduating from high school this weekend in the Memphis area. I mean, I'm talking to folks who, are trying to figure out, And Powerade kind of canceled his individual ad, days after the March 4th incident, right? His shoe went on sale. The Jaw 1 went on sale April 19th. Now, endorsement deals usually have confidentiality clauses. They also have morality clauses. And, Nike, I have not gotten a response back from them. I doubt I get one, but, they're probably
told you why.
Well, exactly. I mean, they're waiting to see how the shoe sells. I mean, and the story I'm writing, I talked to somebody who says this might be part of what he's going for. He might be trying to appeal to a certain audience. The problem is you can't appeal to that audience if you're not playing in the NBA. And there seems to be a lot of pressure building, at least over these last 24 hours, for Adam Silver to hand down a much harsher sentence, a punishment to Ja Morant beyond 8 games. And let's be honest, some of those 8 games were the Grizzlies kind of telling him, go stay away. So it ended up being 8 games, but they were also the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. And I think everybody wanted him in the playoffs, which lasted all of 6 games, and he missed one because of an injury. So it's an interesting time for the NBA. But guess what? Like I said, offseason for the Grizzlies, prime time for the NBA. This topic is not going away.
It's interesting, Teresa. The first thing you mentioned was point guard, and point guards are supposed to be good decision makers, right?
And on the court, he has been one of the best. I mean, there's a reason he's a 2-time All-Star. But
there's also a reason he's not a 3-time All-Star.
Well, there's a reason he was not on the All-NBA team that was announced last Wednesday, not on the first team, second, or third team. And that kept his contract that goes into effect starting this season. It's just a contract. It's a max contract. It's not a super max contract, because not making one of those 3 teams essentially cost him $39 million. Now, you can make the argument, would he have made it without that March 4th incident? No, nobody can go back in time and say he absolutely woulda, shoulda, coulda. But when you look at the players that were on that team, you could make an argument that, the fact of the matter is he had that chance to earn that money into his contract, and it's gone. And that's the question: what is next?
And next is kind of a hard question to answer, because obviously we have to wait on the NBA and all sorts of things, but obviously the suspension that he is currently, under with their team is simply just a placeholder at this point, because it certainly seems that it's not going to be the last shoe to drop, right?
No. I mean, and then that's the thing. I mean, in March, Ja went to some rehab. He said all the right things. After their 6-game loss to the Lakers, and 2 days later when they did their clear out, again, he said he needed to be better with his decision-making on and off the court. And, if you saw the video that was, captured by a few folks, it seems like he's in the car with some buddies. They're having fun, singing to a song. Then the gun gets flashed, and it was briefly. I mean, it was like for a second or two. I mean, you had look quickly or you miss it. So that's part of the issue as well, right? So, that's the thing. Training camp doesn't start for the Grizzlies until the end of September, okay? Media day will be, I think it's going to be September 25th this year, based on tradition. Camps open the next day. But again, Adam Silver is, if you don't think he's going to face 2 or 3 questions about this at his news conference, and game 1 of the NBA Finals is June 1st. So whether that news conference is a couple of hours before that game, if it's the day before, he's going to be asked about Ja Morant. And, 8 games, there were people who thought he could have been suspended for the rest of the season after the March 4th incident. And that was, him live streaming himself holding up an apparent gun while he was at a strip club in the Denver area. This was an even briefer thing. And, guys, we're in a state of Tennessee where gun laws are, having a gun in this state is not a problem. The issue, and trust me, I saw a lot of people holding up the Second Amendment yesterday. The issue is his employers. Okay. your employers can hold you to a far different standard. Okay. First Amendment, Second Amendment, none of those amendments come into play right here. What matters is your contract with the Grizzlies and the fact that you're in the union, the NBA Players Association, and the NBA. There are clauses that say you have to represent the league. And when he was suspended in March, it was for conduct detrimental to the league. So, that covers a wide variety of things. And it certainly can, this situation, it's broad enough to cover that. So, and there are people saying suspend him for 20. Spot Rack has put out numbers of what it would cost him per game if he's suspended for less than 20, more than 20. There's a former Grizzly and Chandler Parsons arguing suspend him for a year. Meta World Peace, aka Ron Artest from Malice in the Palace, has apparently said on social media that, hey, I'm willing to talk if you want to talk. When you're getting people like that wanting to reach out to you, you need to be listening to somebody.
TERESA Walker of the Associated Press joining us on the Real Property Solutions hotline here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And TERESA, you really kind of hit on a point that I wanted to make there as you closed, because Ja hasn't done anything illegal, but from an optic standpoint and from what you want your franchise player, the image you want him projecting and that kind of thing, it's been amazingly stupid.
Well, that's the thing. If you've had a meeting in person with the commissioner of the NBA and you've gone to some rehab, those are indications that, it's serious time. Okay. The Memphis Grizzlies quickly put out a statement yesterday that, and because they're in off-season mode, it's essentially, equated to mom and dad trying to put you in a timeout. Okay. That's the thing. That's what makes it serious, and some of the folks I've talked to, I mean, yes, his contract may be guaranteed, but guess what? Lawyers and such can probably find a reason if the Memphis Grizzlies have lots of decisions to make this offseason. Dylan Brooks was going to be the biggest one when they went into this offseason. Do they pick up a team option, or do they just let him walk as a free agent? Can they trade him, pick up the option and trade him for something? How do they replace him? How do they get more experience on this roster? And now the conversation has turned once again to, is Ja Morant the guy that is the face of our franchise? And guys, today, Jaren Jackson Jr., the guy who's, younger than Ja Morant, but was drafted a year before him at number 4 overall, excuse me. Ja was number 2 overall in 2019. He's a finalist for the kind of award that you want your players to be a finalist for their work off the court and representing your franchise in the perfect way. And that's the challenge right now for the Memphis Grizzlies is, and yes, you mentioned Taylor Jenkins talked about this, about trying, essentially this franchise is at a point where they need to grow up and they need Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, Desmond Bane to be the leaders of this core. And, this doesn't indicate, this just doesn't seem to indicate the direction that they certainly want Ja Morant to be headed in.
Last offseason, TERESA, the talk was that maybe the Grizzlies needed a veteran presence in that locker room to try to bring them along in some different ways. I think that talk was primarily on the court, to help them mature a little bit, but maybe at this point it needs to be an off the court veteran mature presence as well. Is that something else to be considered yet again?
Well, here's the thing. Zach Randolph, who, when he came to the Grizzlies from the Clippers, let's be honest, he was looking at people were taking bets. How long does he stay in the NBA? And he ended up being part of a core that went to a franchise record 7 straight playoff berths. Talk about, an amazing turnaround. Zach Randolph was a pleasure to cover in Memphis, but he was a guy who people looked at and said, is this somebody we want in the NBA?
Mhm.
There were serious questions. There was an incident that I had to check on in Indiana early in his stay in Memphis. So, so he's around. So does he talk to him? Tony Allen hangs around Memphis. I mean, he's a guy who, so there's veteran people. But here's the thing. Maybe it's got to be somebody that's in the locker room. Okay. No offense, but John Morant is still 23. He doesn't turn 24 until August. Zach's career was over when he was still in high school. Maybe I'd have to double check the years, but maybe, Ja was finishing up high school. So I don't know how much, that's the thing, I have a hard time getting your former intern to listen to me at times, right? And he lives in the house with me. So maybe they need to get a veteran into the locker room, and the intern's walking in here to take issue with that. But
don't put that evil on us, Teresa. That's you. But
I just said that he doesn't listen to me, and he lives in my own house.
And I listened, and I heard that.
But that's the thing. Sometimes you have to get somebody in the locker room, somebody who you're making passes with, you're working out with, sweating with, to get them to listen to you. But
to that end, Teresa, what about a Derrick Rose? I saw somebody throw that out on Twitter not too long ago.
Well, it also has to be somebody that they can fit under their cap. They don't have a ton of cap space this year, right? They've got a mid-range exception and some stuff that they can work with, but it's got to be somebody that he'll listen to. Okay. His parents live down the street, and yet T. Morant is somebody that has, made headlines himself. One of the things that got John Morant into trouble and got headlines this offseason or during the season for something that happened last summer was when his mom called him to the mall, the Wolf Chase Galleria, because she was mad at a Finish Line employee. And, he took some of his friends and showed up at the mall to yell at him. So that's, I don't know how you get somebody to listen to somebody and who that person can be. It's a question that the Grizzlies have got to be asking. I just don't know the answer to that.
Teresa Walker on the Real Property Solutions hotline here, talking a little John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies and what's next for said Grizzlies. I'm really curious to see how this whole thing plays out. And in the NBA's eyes, could there have been a worse time, or is it a better time because the playoffs are going to still take up most of the headlines? Could have been 3 weeks from now, and boy, that's even worse.
Well, or is it better? I mean, sports talk, hello guys, needs filler space between the start of training camp in the NFL and that dead period. But, if you don't have a team in the College World Series for softball or baseball or an NFL team in your market, then you're going to be talking about things. So, if this had happened in August, would it be any better? We don't know. All we know is that ABC, which will be hosting game 1 of the NBA Finals, ESPN, which shows a lot of the other playoff games, they have lots of shows on. They have lots of NBA people who will be, and a lot of NBA people will be focusing on this because, you know why? There are only 4 teams still left playing. And all those NBA reporters who aren't covering these 4 teams have to come up with other content. And John Morant has provided something to report on.
That is, and it's unfortunate. Look, I hope Ja can figure this out and make better decisions going forward. Again, this is simply just a young man making a poor decision in the moment with his friends. I'm not saying that his friends are the problem. I'm saying that when I was 23, when I was hanging out with my friends, I did a lot of dumb stuff. And so, obviously I wasn't making millions and millions of dollars, and there are different consequences for different situations. And that's just the way life is. But, I'm obviously pulling for Ja. I want him to make the correct decisions going forward. And hopefully, this will only continue to help steer him in the direction that makes him a better more more rounded individual. So.
Chris, that's the thing. John Morant is I mean, we love watching him on the court. He is a fun guy. I mean, the things that he does is amazing. I mean, his fearlessness driving to the basket, his vision, finding somebody with ridiculous passes for the open three. I mean, he's fun to watch. I mean, post-game interviews, he's a guy who is as happy for teammates when they do well as when he has a big game. I mean, he seems to be the guy you want as your teammate. And yet the first video, March 4th, that came hours after a big road loss to the number 1 seed, Denver Nuggets. Guess who's still playing? They're hosting the Lakers tomorrow night. And that came hours after his teammate, Brandon Clark, tore an Achilles tendon, ending his season. So timing is kind of everything. And you're right. We're all of us of a certain age are incredibly grateful that cameras and videos and cell phones did not exist when we were 23. That said, the friend turned the camera away the moment he saw whatever flashed in the screen. So these are decisions that have to be made better by John Morant. And, that's the end point. And, he said everything right the last time. It's now about showing he can do the right things. And, when I'm looking up longest suspensions in the NBA, that's never a good thing, because after I finish the story I'm working on now, I'm going to be preparing preparation for when a decision comes from the NBA, because that feels like the other shoe that will drop is a decision from the NBA, Adam Silver. And at this point, I don't even know if he wants to talk to John Morant again. They had a conversation in which he said, like I said he sounded contrite, that he knew what and how many of us parents have talked to our kids and they're really, really sorry in that moment, never, ever going to do it again. And then they go and do something else. So at this point, I don't think that there's a need for him to talk to John Morant again. I'm expecting and preparing for a decision to come out. And, to me, the question is at this point is how long does the suspension end up being? And that's what the Memphis Grizzlies in their offseason plans have to now account for.
So as you were looking up longest suspensions,
what is it?
Kermit Washington and Ron Artest?
Well, that's the fun thing. I've got so many screens open right now.
Or is it 2 years? Between
Ron
1994
Artest
and
got
1996.
86 games. I think that was the Malice in the Palace situation.
Right.
OJ Mayo got, former Grizzly, 164 games for back in the day.
So that's 2 years, basically. Well,
exactly. Yeah.
282 game schedules. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was involving the anti-drug program, and he had been previously suspended 10 games for a positive performance-enhancing drug, and that was 2011. That was actually the year the Grizzlies tried to trade him, or at least, and couldn't get the deal completed before the trade deadline. But for a gun incident, it seems like it was Gilbert Arenas with 50 games. And that was an unloaded gun in a locker room, but that was in DC. It was unlicensed. Well, in Tennessee, you don't have to have a license to have a gun. So, that's
and he wasn't in the locker room.
Yeah,
exactly.
It wasn't on property.
We don't know where this was taken. We don't know, was this taken in Shelby County? Was this taken somewhere else? Is he on vacation? We don't know. Presuming Tennessee, simply because his sister graduated high school this past weekend.
And his mom was celebrating Mother's Day along with millions of other moms yesterday. So
some of us were trying.
He was around close. Yeah. Well,
some of us were trying.
Some more successfully than others.
Yes.
Wow. Teresa, as
always. And we didn't even talk about, the Titans rookie camp,
it's a beautiful thing.
That's how big, that's how important this is for John Morant, the Memphis Grizzlies, in their future. Let's put it this way, to sum up. I've been planning to spend much of my spring in Memphis for the next several years. And at this point, I'm rethinking that. My current stay made 2 trips to Memphis. That was it. And future stays may be even shorter depending on what happens this offseason.
Wow. Teresa Walker of the Associated Press here with us on the Real Property Solutions Hotline. Teresa, as always, we appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Maybe next time it will be about Titans minicamp.
Well, we get to talk to Titans veterans tomorrow at noon. So, and then the first OTA that should be open to us will be on the 23rd. So we're getting closer to, practice football.
We like practice football. It's better than no football.
Better than what I've been dealing with the last 36
and
hours.
There's that. Yeah, it's a little bit different. But all right, we appreciate it, and we will talk to you again soon.
See you guys. Thank you.
Again, Real Property Solutions, 615-527-8750 is the number to call if you want to sell your house. They'll buy it as it is. You can take what you want, leave what you don't. Don't even worry about cleaning, and they'll take care of it all on your timeline, whether it's 7 days or 70. They can close whenever you feel like it. So we'll take a break. When we come back, a little bit of Braves chatter and baseball before we get into softball, more softball. Right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio in a moment.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
May 15th, 1970. Since a hitless opening day, Braves left fielder Rico Carty has been on a tear and continued it in Cincinnati, driving in Hank Aaron with a 6th-inning single to extend his hit streak to 31 straight games as Atlanta won 3-1 at Crosley Field on an Aaron 2-run homer in the 8th. Carty's streak is the team's longest since moving from Milwaukee for the 1966 season. That was this day in Braves history.
Getting a lot of Rico Carty here recently.
Yeah, he pretty well dominated that April and early May. And yeah, good stuff. The big boy, as was his nickname.
Well, I wonder if folks got a notification about that game today on the MLB app, because apparently everybody was getting notifications from games from throughout the history of time. I don't know what was going on.
Well, I mean, if they didn't, that's one of the few that they didn't send out a notification on, I guess. It's quite odd.
It was a weird day and a weird weekend for Atlanta up in Canada. Clearly, Canada just not the place for the Braves. Just a tough weekend for everybody, especially the Braves bullpen. AJ Minter and Raziel Iglesias, both taking L's over the weekend. Two guys that you just don't expect to be taking L's, and yet AJ Minter's got 5 of them.
Well, AJ Minter's also got an 8+ ERA.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, man. And this is not the time for the bullpen to be struggling.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Especially with the recent news, like in the last few minutes, scrolling through Twitter as I am wont to do. Cal Wright has been placed on the 60-day DL, and Derek Rodriguez of the Minnesota Twins has been picked up by the Braves.
Rodriguez, I think, was DFA'd last week, maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm not real familiar.
Had a great year in 18. I think it was had a sub-3 ERA in 18, but has been pretty much non-existent since then.
That's interesting. So Rodriguez was claimed off waivers and optioned to Gwinnett. So this
Correct.
is not a roster move that will affect the Braves' active roster at this time. So, but I guess they'll
have to call somebody up.
Yeah, they'll
have to call somebody up tomorrow
because
they don't have anybody pitching and can't throw another bullpen game. It's got to be Schuster. Dodd pitched Sunday.
Well, so they got to send somebody down then if they got to call somebody up.
Yeah, and right? I don't know, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like, who that's going to look like, but this pitching staff, obviously we thought it was a big strength coming in, has been riddled with injuries, and when you get games like you got from Strider and Charlie over the weekend, you can't win. Elder. Strider and Elder had, did everything they could do. Offense just didn't exist.
All three of those games in Toronto were winnable.
Yeah.
Yesterday, defense kind of lets you down. I don't know what the deal was on the pop-ups and the lack of communication on a couple of those that resulted in 2 runs and Toronto's eventually 6-5 win. So, but I mean, it's not typically defense that we're talking about with this team. So maybe they're just in a funk. We're working through some things, as someone in a high-ranking position said here recently.
Well, and here's the thing is that's okay. It's still May. You're still 4 games up?
Yeah, 5, I believe. You are 25-15. I believe your lead in the division is the largest of any division. You're 5 up on Philly.
So, I mean, let's just take a toll here. Look, did we get greedy? Are we greedy?
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna sit here and act like the world is ending and the world is on fire, because we are dealing with a lot of injuries.
A lot.
So I would like to just say, and coming from me, this has got to be the weirdest thing ever, but slow down. You know me, I am the world is ending at all times kind of guy.
But it's tough to sell when you're 25-15.
Yeah, you can't sell the world is ending. Look, and there are plenty of good explanations for all the things that are happening.
And I will take 25 wins out of 40 games all year.
Absolutely, 100%. So, not feeling great about it, but I'm not feeling terrible about it. I'm just uneasy at this point. So, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you if you saw this video from Tim Anderson.
I did.
Does Tim Anderson hate Chicago?
I don't know if he hates Chicago or if he hates the pitch clock.
What does he say right here?
I don't
I think
know.
he says pitch clock. I think he says pitch clock.
I think he may say pitch clock.
So, because I think there's two words here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like I hate this pitch clock. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think anybody likes it. See, the reason I say that is because Houston's first baseman doesn't laugh. I'm laughing if he says, I hate this pitch.
I hate it here.
You know, but that's not what to me, I think you're right. I think it's pitch clock. But I do think it's hilarious that was, you know, the first thing that that folks are saying is, you know,
that
I hate this
place. Yeah. Well, it would make sense, I think.
Sure.
I think that's why so many people latched on to that, is because it would make sense if he hated Chicago right now.
Yeah, being a part of that White Sox team is not great.
Yeah.
Also, did you happen to see Bryce Harper tell the Rockies that they had a loser organization?
All of them.
You're all losers. That's fantastic. Look, Bryce Harper, and I hate that he's a Philly. I really do, because
right.
I can't stand Philadelphia, but I love Bryce Harper. I think he is fantastic. I think I hated that they love to put the mic on him during our games on Sunday Night Baseball, but you know, you can't help but love the dude if you listen to him and watch him play.
Well, he has really come a long way since he scuffed up the A behind the plate at
Hey, I kind of like that too. I mean, obviously not for my team, but like I kind of like that.
No, there's no need for that. Certainly no need for that from him. You know, he's better than that.
He called the entire Rockies organization losers. I don't know if he is better than that.
Well, I mean, hey, did he lie? No.
It ain't sinning.
It's the truth that ain't sinning. Did he lie? Show me the lie.
Moose is just this is fantastic. I don't
Moose,
care.
who ain't even been there. This is his first year in Colorado.
First year,
right?
yeah, he's been in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, Moose is probably thinking, "Damn, is he right?" You know,
he's like, "I came from a loser organization, and you're not wrong."
Right. I can tell you what a loser organization is. This ain't it. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we need to take a quick break because we do have Coach Jeff Breeden standing by. We'll talk a little MTSU softball on the other side of a break right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Y'all stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here with you on this Reaction Monday, rapid fire reaction coming up in just a few moments. So don't go anywhere. We've got plenty of those to get to. But first, Mo, we go to the Real Property Solutions Hotline where we talk with Middle Tennessee State softball coach Jeff Breeden. Coach, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
You're on the move, looks like, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm sitting still, but I am in my truck right now. I am on the move.
Okay. Well, hey, congratulations, man. Huge weekend for you guys. For you, your young ladies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, our kids played real well. We played most of the year. We played pretty well, except for about a week period of time. But we really got hot this weekend, and a lot of people showed up. And we brought the Conference USA Championship back to the borough.
When I was going through the games this weekend and I noticed that my phone had not given me a final score, I thought, well, I'm going to go check on the Middle Tennessee State score real quick. And I saw that you guys were in the 10th inning or something. And so I decided, I guess we better turn it on, and no better time to do that because just 2 innings later in the 12th, in the top half of the 12th, you guys were able to push a run across and earn the 3-2 win over North Texas in the Conference USA Championship game. That's Middle Tennessee State's second conference championship and tournament championship, both as 6 seeds.
Yeah, we won it in 2018 again, and as a 6 seed there too. And that thing went 12 innings. Nobody wanted to give in. I mean, in the 7th inning, Laura Miller from Chapel Hill, she dang hits a would-be grand slam. It gets snow coned and brought back in with 2 outs. And at that point, I'm thinking, this is not my day. And then in the bottom, in the bottom of the 7th, in the bottom of the 7th, we let some base runners get on, and then our left fielder makes a diving catch in left field with 2 outs to save the day. That catch was the best catch on Sports Center on Saturday night. So that was great. And we got the momentum back. And then finally, we just hung around and got some base runners and got a single and scored. So that was a good day.
Coach, you mentioned Laura Miller, and we had the good fortune of seeing her in the state tournament a couple of years ago. And as I scroll up and down through your roster, we like to look at this when we're talking to local coaches of successful programs in particular. The fact that you've been able to do it with so many, within about an hour's drive of your campus for a lot of these kids, I would think that that's really a feather in y'all's cap as you go out and recruit going forward.
Yeah, both times that we've won it, we've had a lot of splash of local kids. Probably, half our roster is Tennessee kids all time. But back in 18, we had some really local kids that contributed, and then this time up, we wouldn't even be talking today if Carrie Munn from Coffee County in the losers bracket finals, if she hadn't just pitched her rear end off and allowed us to beat Charlotte, we wouldn't even be talking about this today. So. Shelby Sargent here from Murfreesboro, she's a little bitty package, but dynamite. And if you would have asked me in any time in her recruiting process or any time this season that in the championship game they will intentionally walk Shelby Sargent because she's hit too many doubles, I would have bet my house against that. And they did. I mean, she was a double machine this week. And set the double records for the conference tournament and all that, total bases in the conference tournament, whatever. And they intentionally walk her to get to Blevins from Jasper, and she hits that single and scores it. So we're proud of all of our kids. Don't get me wrong, but with my background being what it is from the mid-state area, I'm really proud of our local kids. Just to be honest with
you. MTSU wrapped up the Conference USA Championship. They go into the Tuscaloosa region at 39-18 on the year. And Jeff, like you said, you guys have played pretty good ball all year, and I think you were particularly hot early in the season. But getting rejuiced, I guess, here in the conference tournament, got to be heading south with some momentum, I would think.
Yeah, it was a good selection show, and we had fun doing it and all. And we were supposed to have played Central Arkansas back a few weeks back, and it got rained out in a midweek game. And so I guess it just the softball gods in this instance said we were supposed to play Central Arkansas this year. So we're going to get to do that on Friday at 3:30. They got a great team. They got two pitchers that are dynamite. I mean, they give everybody fits all year long, and they've got a bunch of quality wins. They beat the University of Arkansas twice. So it'll be a big task for us, but we're glad. We've played down at Alabama several times, so we know the lay of the land. We know where we're going to warm up. We know how everything works down there. So it's going to be to us it was good to draw that region.
Well, and look, folks can say what they want to about Alabama getting a 5 seed and all of those sorts of things, and whether or not they deserved it, that they were going to host a regional, and for one, they deserve to host a regional, but two, it's one of the most electric atmospheres in all of college softball. There's no question about it. So what is it going to be like? What do you feel like it's going to be like these are seasons on the line. There's no question that Tuscaloosa is going to be rocking at Rhodes Stadium.
Yeah. So what people don't understand that haven't been there, I've won state championships in football and in softball, and I know what those atmospheres are like. I've played against these SEC teams now and all that. But when we went down there in 18, and our first game down there was with Alabama, and it was a night game, we came on the field first and walked through the left field fence, and you walk on the field, and it was packed. There was 2,500 people there, and there'll probably be 3,000 there this time. They've expanded a little bit, but there's 2,500 people there. And we walk on the field. We're almost to the dugout, and Alabama's still in the locker room. When the door of Alabama's locker room opened up, it was like a football Saturday in the South, in that arena, and that place
unreal.
Exploded. It exploded, and they wanted to see Montana Fouts, and they wanted to see her in that circle right then and right there, and but their fans were great. Every time we made a good play, they were fine. But it's an atmosphere like none other. And I said it in the press conference down there. They were very hospitable toward us. They like to see good ball, but their fan base, man, is rabid.
Now, I'm sure they would love to see Montana Fouts this weekend. Whether they do or not is up in the air. Are you at all concerned? Obviously, you got to get through Central Arkansas, but in the event that you guys see Alabama, do you have any idea what you might be facing?
No, I mean, listen, you're facing you're facing the University of Alabama. So you don't really need to know anything else other than that. And Coach Murphy does a great job with them, and I respect what he does with them and all. But I'm going to tell you, they're not going to let it out, I'm sure, until right before game time. But I expect to see Montana in that circle pitching. I hope she's not hurt. She doesn't need to go out on an injury. She needs to go out in the circle doing what she does, because she's been a big face for softball for 5 years now.
Middle Tennessee State softball coach Jeff Breeden joining us here on the Real Property Solutions hotline on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Jeff, obviously you guys won the Conference USA Tournament Championship. You got the AQ out of CUSA into the NCAAs. You know, were you surprised that Conference USA was a 2-bid league this time around with Charlotte getting in as well?
No, I wasn't surprised. I knew that they might struggle to get in since we put them out in the semifinals, but their whole total quality of work was very good. I mean, they were number 32 RPI pretty much all year long, or in the 30s and 20s. So they definitely deserved it. And our conference was extremely tough this year, and it was extremely balanced. North Texas is a great team. I'm telling you, the Peters kid that pitches for them is amazing. And Charlotte's girls, they can hit it. I mean, they can hit, and they got a couple of pitchers that can throw it. But my kids just mentally think they can beat anybody in the world. And that's sort of our advantage. I mean, that's what it is. I'm not telling you that we're the most talented team, because we're not. If you look at player by player with us in Charlotte, you'd take some of their players over my players. But mentally, I think we got the edge.
Coach, you certainly proved that this week, and you ran the gauntlet. I mean, obviously, you know, FAU gets you a B for you, but then you guys turn around and have to take care of the Owls. And of course, you know, doing that in a tournament setting hasn't been easy for any sport these days.
Yeah.
So FAU goes down. Then of course you get the number 1 seed Charlotte, take care of them, and then win the championship against North Texas, a team that you guys played recently, right? I mean, you just went out there not too long ago. And so, you know, being able to mentally overcome what happened out there to win that game has got to be huge. And then of course you had to win the tournament opener against the host. So it certainly wasn't an easy road for Middle Tennessee State to this tournament championship. So that's I think that's a testament to your coaching staff and your girls. Absolutely. So again, congratulations.
We appreciate it. And then it is the hard road. We've taken the hard road a couple times, but you know, we beat North Texas out there in that series on Sunday. That gave us some momentum. Then we drove straight to Ruston from there. And so, you know, it was, you know, once we beat La Tech, that to get in the double elimination round, you got the monkey off your back then. So you know you're going to at least play 2 more games, and you relax a little bit and just go to work. And that's, you know, fortunately that's what our kids did.
And that's easily missed, Jeff. Again, you guys had a play-in game right out of the box against the host. I mean, that wasn't part of the double elimination portion of it. That's a win or go home right there.
That's right.
So big week for Jeff Breeden and the Lady Raiders, and another big one coming up here. You said y'all play Friday at 3:30, Jeff, is that right?
Yeah, Friday at 3:30, yep.
Okay.
Coach, again, congratulations, and we appreciate you taking some time with us today. Obviously, pass along our congratulations to your team, and again, looking forward to this weekend in Tuscaloosa. Very hopeful that I can make the trip down, because again, Rhodes is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be rocking, and we hope to see you guys on Sunday down there.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for everything you guys do for athletics in the mid-state, and thanks for having us on.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll talk soon.
All right, thanks.
Jeff Breeden on the Real Property Solutions hotline there. Again, Real Property Solutions is your solution to buy your house. If you're looking to sell it, call 615-527-8750. Again, they'll buy it as is. No problem. Just take what you want, leave what you don't. Don't even worry about cleaning. They can close on your timeline. 7 days or 70. And now, Mo, it is time for a little rapid fire reaction. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk a little bit about all the things that happened this weekend. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Y'all stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio we go with Mo Patton and Chris Yow. Mo, had a heck of a weekend watching a lot of sports. Watched a lot of college softball this weekend. In fact, I watched Tennessee State. You know, we watched Tennessee State on Friday lose to SEMO just before we came on the air. But I found out they are headed to the HBCU College World Series up in Chicago, Illinois, where they'll take on Jackson State next week on the 28th. So how about that?
That's cool. That's good. Hey, before we get too far into this rapid fire, I just want to mention we in the rundown said the Community Christian and Zion Christian were playing in the TSIAA state championship game at 5:30. That game has now been pushed back to 6:30. So
it may be longer than that based on what I'm looking at right now.
Is it raining or is it just dark?
Pouring.
Okay. All right.
So,
okay. Well, that's good to know.
Keep an ear out for that.
Yeah. So y'all be weather aware, as they say.
That's right. All right, we get into rapid fire reaction. Teresa Walker mentioned it earlier, Mo. Titans mini camp is underway for rookies, and Will Levis turning heads, including defensive backs' heads, as at least somewhat looking competent out there. Now, again, rookies, but
he's a rookie. They're rookies. I mean, competent. Pretty freaking low bar, but okay.
Hey, well, based off what we expected, that's actually that may be more than we were hoping for.
Yeah, competent. Okay.
I mean, did you see the videos?
I saw the one pass that he threw where everybody wanted to compare him to Aaron Rodgers and that kind of thing, where he was rolling out to his right and threw it back across his body into the middle of the field, which most coaches will tell you not to do.
I don't think he threw it to the middle of the field. Justin, do you have that video? Can you get that video? I thought it was to the sideline where he threw it over the top of the cornerback's head.
Yeah, I got one pulled up here.
Was he not rolling to his right?
He was, but
did he throw it back to his left?
No.
1 second.
Watch the video. He threw it to the sideline. He just no-looked it. He didn't throw it to his left. He no-looked past it, which is a little ridiculous. But he just didn't turn his head. So it looks like he's throwing it back across his body. I see what you're saying. But no, it wasn't back to the middle of the field.
It's really
but I do see what you're saying.
All the way around.
Yeah, he did have to throw his arm all the way across his body, which by doing one thing that everybody will tell you to do, square your shoulders, you don't have to worry about that. But then again, the pass was kind of perfect. So I guess you do what you got to do. I mean, look, I'm not here to christen Will Levis after one throw or even one weekend. And I saw a couple other things that I thought were positives. I'm not going to say that he's not capable. Again, as I told you before the draft, I softened up on Will Levis after a little while, and hopefully, he does well if he becomes a starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. But I do think that it's important to note that I think that he showed some promise at rookie camp, and I think some other guys did too, including Colton Dowell.
He needs to. I mean, he was the 7th round pick. He's the only wide receiver that they took in the draft, and he's going to need to, come along quick. I don't know that there's a 7th rounder with more pressure on him probably than Colton Dowell. But it seems that he's capable to.
Ben Arthur,
use your word,
says the Titans have signed 6 players coming out of camp. LJ Davis of Northern Arizona, cornerback. Center James Empey of BYU. Cornerback Eric Garor of Louisiana. Wide receivers Gavin Holmes of Baylor and Kyrus Jackson of Georgia. I think Kyrus Jackson might be a little sleeper there. And cornerback Armani Marsh of Washington State.
Okay.
So those are the 6 players signed out of minicamp. Everybody's now okay. Everybody's reporting it, not just Ben. Apparently, that was out. That's a Titans
release
there.
Yeah.
Moving on, Matt Ryan to the booth. You surprised?
No. I mean, I think Matt Ryan is, pretty universally liked across the NFL. It'll be interesting. I think it's always interesting when you see players go to the booth because, some of them tend to be more uncomfortable, speaking negatively about former players than others. It'll be interesting to see how that works out for Matt because, I mean, he's just so positive about everything. He just seems like a good guy. I think he'll do well. Like I said, I'm interested in that aspect of it, but we'll be fine.
76ers collapsed last night. Doc Rivers going to make it. Is he going to be back?
It's hard to say. I mean, you saw what happened with
the Suns
with Monty
Bucks
Williams.
Coach.
Yeah.
The Suns coach, the Bucks coach, everybody's good. All the good teams getting rid of their coaches. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess losing in the playoffs once you get to the playoffs is taboo. I don't know. So, unless you're Steve Kerr. So
unless you're Steve Kerr, I guess.
So
I'll be interested to see what happens with Doc for sure.
With Doc?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And finally, Stetson Bennett, 6 years of college, 12 hours per semester, at least one or two classes during the summer. How do you not trip and fall into a bachelor's?
I mean, has anybody actually written anything about this?
I mean,
it's been knocked around a lot on social media and that kind of thing, but I've not read a story on it, and I would love to.
You and I both. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk more about some of these on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bar and Joint. We'll see you then.